There we go.
Fuck damn shit, fuck damn, there you go. Oh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lucky Ones podcast. I am your host, Lucky Wood. Thank you for joining us on this amazing special episode here on a Monday. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Amanda Man Mass Marshall and Cristino Casto. That's what I'm going to call her right now. Cristino Casto. Because I feel like it sounds like more mafia and gangsta. And of course, she needs no introduction, but I'm going to give her a pretty big one anyway. She's out from the great state of Texas. I always say Virginia tries to be like mini Texas, but there's only one Texas. And she recently starred and dominated on East versus West 14, had an amazing match, went 3-0, which is quite an accomplishment on this level, folks. So please give it up for the one, the only Elizabeth. I'm going to say it the way I was practicing it. I'm going to say it wrong, but Mocek.
You got it. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You're muted, Amanda.
Like everybody says Mocek, and I thought it was how she pronounced it. So I was like, how the fudge do we say her name? So right. I'm just calling you Liz. I'm just going with first names until you get it right.
What makes me upset as an English teacher is when people say the C is like a K sound. And it's like kek. It's like Mocek. And it's like, do we not know that if a C is followed by an I, E, or Y, it's the S sound at this point, people?
You know the English language is backwards, right, phonetically. It never sounds like how we spell it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty solid rule.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that it's like Czech, so like it's not said to say the way it's spelled.
Fair.
Mm.
So.
Yeah, but I still think they shouldn't pronounce it with a hard K sound until they get to the K. So, tell us about East versus West. We led into that and all that jazz. So tell us all about that.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience. I think this time around it was a different experience, 1000%. Having like all the support and fans and, like my own, I don't necessarily have like what normal people would consider a team, I guess, because I have like a mishmash of people that make up my team, but they were all there supporting, and then the guys on the card were supporting, and it just was, I would say, way more of a magical experience and inclusive. So
I was there. I was there in person watching. Yeah, so it was intense.
Probably a lot better here in the United States, isn't it?
That was my question. Do you feel like it was like, because you were one of the few that have been able to say that you've done it overseas and here on our soil, which is, again, amazing and awesome that you got to be one of the first to do that.
Yeah.
So, talk to us about those differences too.
Yeah, for sure. So like those differences, like one, I was able to refeed properly. I think it's just I learned what to expect, planned it out better. It's just like anybody learning how to pull is like you go to your first event and you're like, oh, I made several mistakes here. Or I've heard some amateur pullers get like stomach dumping or like dumping syndrome is what it's called after they refeed. You live and you learn. And I think that from Turkey, I don't think it necessarily, I love traveling. I think that if I would have known what to expect going in better, I would have made different choices. Like even now, like I was expecting to go overseas again, and I was like, I'm going to do this differently and this differently and this different. I'm going to pack this. So like, I think that it's just a learning experience. And like most people know is I've been in sport 3 years. So every time is a new learning experience for me.
But, you didn't avoid jet lag. I think that was like having the higher ground for everybody was nobody had to deal with jet lag and everybody else had to. So if that truly makes a difference, hey.
I don't know. I was pretty tired. I flew in and I started my travel there at 1:30 a.m.
Dude, in the hotel was miserably hot.
It's the morning. I was like that press conference interview that you saw. That started at 1:30 a.m. and I weighed in. This is what people don't really realize is like including Alexandra, we were talking like we're both exhausted. We both weighed in. We were in bed, and I was refeeding. I had eaten like 6 donuts. I thought I was going to bed, and and she's also exhausted. She's had a long trip, and we were given 30 minutes to meet in a room full of elite pullers. The room was just like full of Devin and her husband and Alex, and it was just packed full of all these people. Malin, you don't want to let down, you know. And so I think there's a lot of nerves, and neither one speak. You know, like Alex is not perfect at English across from me, and I don't want to offend her, and she doesn't want to offend me, and um, I think we definitely could have given more attention, as you pointed out, to female arm wrestling, but at the same time, we're barely awake. I'm not making excuses at all, but I think some behind the scenes information and how it goes down is like
and
a lot
that's
of the times.
to us who don't know, who are just watching like the finished product, or if you will. And so, you know, and like I said, I feel like, and even now that I know, you know, when we talked, now that I know like that's what happened leading up to it. Like I said, I thought you guys were calm, cool, classy. You guys were very respectful of each
We're
other.
tired.
Tired.
We didn't have an energy. No, there was no energy to be bitchy.
Like, even on the show as the host, I go back and I'll watch the episodes sometimes, be like, shoot, I should have said this, or shoot, I should have pointed out this. So
Yeah.
I'm not perfect at it either.
I think it's also like a lot of people don't know, if you meet me in person, unfortunately, I don't think I've ever met all three of you actually in person, but if you see me at an event, I'm against a wall in the back. You won't see me. And I'm super nervous.
At Nationals one year.
Oh, well, that was not my best moment, so we're not going to talk about that, but
I don't know about you, but when I go to an event, whether it's old racing or something like that, I personally am going to come off very bitchy. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to be touched. I don't really want to socialize until afterwards, because I'm worried about how I'm going to perform. So like, even with my boyfriend, we went to the World Series, and he was touching me, and I was like, I love you, but you got to go. So yeah, I don't blame you. Being in the corner, it's nothing personal. It's time to put game face on. It's time to put game face on.
And I think with like East West, it's like there's so much media. There's always a camera in our face, and like what you see is not always posted. Like there is a camera 24/7, even when we're warming up. And so it's very different than competing at a normal event. I wouldn't say normal, I guess, like just not something that's so highly like media oriented.
I get what you mean by normal. Yeah, I mean it's a whole other level. You know, it's higher performance. So no, definitely get it.
For sure.
No, but
when Castro and I were at the Invitational, Martha Swick scared the living crap out of me. Like her, like get ready game face is just like, I'm going to slap anybody who even gets within arm distance. And it was just, and she scared me. And like I had to pull her. I think she was my second to last match. No, she was my very last match. And I was just like, I don't even want to pull her. I'm scared of her so bad. And then we get off the table. She's like, man, that was awesome. Next time I need you to do this and that. And it was just like complete different. I was like, oh, okay,
cool. Hi. Yeah. And like, that's the other thing is like, Alex and I, before we go on stage, like, I think like minutes, we're joking about our walkout songs. Like, and we're hugging behind the camera. And it's just, I don't know, it's just it's different. Like from what you guys perceive, like, for me on the table, I know I'm terrible. I know, like, I get it. I know. I run my mouth. I'm terrible on the table. It's a different side of me that comes out. But
hold on. Real quick, let me say something. I'm going to tell you what all the guys say to me. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So you were fighting, you know? You're fighting for a position to win, man. I mean, everybody's different. The guys do it too, Liz. The guys do it too.
I know, but the second they put that mic on me, I was like, this is not good.
We couldn't hear you. I mean, I was there because I was talking to Adam about how the mic should be on you guys and the refs. You could probably get 1 out of every 4 words you really couldn't hear. And truthfully, I think it was just too hot. Nobody really cared. We were all dying watching y'all. And it had to have been worse for y'all being directly under those lights.
Yeah, the Jersey
Listen,
offset. That
My favorite
what?
part was the complete opposite walkout music. It was just that was my favorite part. I think I texted everybody about that. I was like, the opposite spectrums of walkout music between you and Alexandra was just like chef's kiss. Like I was like,
Oh wait,
it was funny.
But this is what female arm wrestling is like we all have different styles. We all have different things that we're into, and yet we all like arm wrestling. So it doesn't matter.
well, we were joking about that.
Yeah.
Like I showed her my music and she laughed and she was like, "That's not for me."
And hers was so 1980s bubbly. I was like, oh my God, it's a 6-year-old again. But what was your walkout song, Liz?
It's called Skull Crack.
Yeah, because like I didn't sit in my seat because you couldn't see. I was sitting on the wall and your walks out comes in. I'm like, and I was like, okay, what just happened to me over here? But it rattled the room. So, and I saw in a lot of podcast comments, everybody was like, what the fudge was that song? And I was like, I don't know, but that's like I hate your mama music when you're lifting. I know that for sure. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
So, your background isn't necessarily in a whole lot of what we do right now. And so, do you want to tell us what got you into this crazy world of arm wrestling?
Yeah, so I guess it started, this is kind of a little too far back maybe, but I used to be an equestrian, which is horseback riding, and I used to jump over fences that are like 5 foot tall as fast as I can. And I got a lot of injuries from that. And then in college, I got a final blow, not on the horse, but I got a traumatic brain injury, which like ended my career. And I was in the hospital, in and out for about 3 years in a wheelchair. And I gained a lot of weight. And I couldn't even walk a mile on a treadmill without passing out. I had like heart monitors and stuff. And it just kind of became a goal to change my life and like get rid of the medicine, and I was gonna prove them wrong, and I did. Um, and then I met someone in the gym, and he took me to a Sarah Bachman like mega practice, I guess you would call it. And I pulled Grandma Rose. I don't know if you guys know her.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. We love her.
But I beat her that day. I think she's still mad about it. And and I just fell in love with it. And she's always been like in my corner and behind me from the day one. So sweet. But yeah, I just fell in love with it and it took off from there. And it was just a way to like kind of show my competitive side. I thought that was kind of over for me. And it just like reignited, I guess.
Came alive again. That's actually
Yeah.
pretty awesome. I think people keep forgetting I'm like about you is like where you came from and how hard it is to learn to freaking walk again. I've only had like hip surgery once, but that was the worst like 3 months of my life trying to walk again. It really was.
That's the other thing is like behind the scenes is like people don't really know like a lot of lights and a lot of noise. Not great for me. It's not good. It's not a fun time for me. So anything, if I come off like I missed something or I'm not talking or I'm probably tapped out. I'm probably have a headache. And I'm probably just trying to make it through. So, not that that's an excuse. It's just like that's something about me that most people don't know.
I don't think that's an excuse.
No,
I think
sorry,
people need to learn empathy. Quit judging a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to school this week, that's a big thing that we've been doing in school with our middle schoolers is just like, one of the things on my wall is always be kind. You don't know somebody else's story, and so, and like reteaching myself that even, through, because I mean, I do these lessons at the beginning of the school year or whatever, and it's easy to forget in 12 months. And then you come back to it's like, oh yeah, I need to do that too as a grown up. And I need to model that for my students.
Yeah. So like I think that's also I started noticing that too, like at the VIP dinner and stuff, people will be like scared to walk up to Brzinc or, Devin, and I'm like, oh, Devin, he's fine. You just walk up to him. Like I think at the end of the day it's important to remember like everyone is still human and we're just trying to compete and have fun and make it fun for everybody, and
Right.
Yeah, it was interesting hanging out with everybody down at the pub and seeing Heidi, because Heidi's the girl that got me into the sport. So I hadn't seen her in like 2 years. So that was the best. Yeah, everybody was down there and partying and having a good time too. But it was a little weird because I was like, these are people you see on TV and you don't know what to say for a brief moment, and you're all starstruck. What is it? What is it? Prudnick? I bumped into him to the elevator, and because I wanted to ask him to sing for me. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I was too busy Googling at him for a hot minute for a second, and then I was like, yep.
My first time ever competing at the Arnold Classic, they used to have these booklets that they would bring around, and they would have the athletes sign at the different tables. And my first time there, I was standing with I think it was Michael Todd's wife then. I was standing with her, and she was a fitness. It was his first wife. She was a Miss Fitness, and she also arm wrestled too, Tanya. And I'm standing there, and these people walk up and they hand me the book, and I'm like, "What am I supposed to?" She says, "You're supposed to autograph that," and I'm not famous. I'm just passing it on, I just handed it over, and she goes, "To them you are. Sign the book." For the whole day, I couldn't do it. And then, the next year I come there and people walk up, "Can you sign my shirt? Or can you do this?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, just," and it just became, but it was like, you just feel weird at, people asking you, "Well, they know who you are." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm nobody." "Oh, not to them." It was weird. Still is weird.
That's so funny because like Heidi said the same thing to me because she walked up to me this first time meeting her too, and she like immediately was like, "You know the drill," and asked for a picture, and I'm like, "What you want? What?" And she's like, "Well,
Yeah.
like, you got to do the picture thing," and I'm like, I'm nothing special. Like you could go get Devin or but it was nice meeting her, and it was kind of her to like think that I was that important to take a picture with me.
That's a girl supporting a girl right there. We are both involved with this company called Girl, and again, that's how I met her. It's called GRRL. Definitely go check it out. Great clothing, all that stuff. But yeah, Heidi is top notch, just an all around wonderful woman. When I met her, I actually had my first panic attack, I would say, in Vegas. It was like my first vacation being away from family and everything, and she held my hand through it. I mean, that's a solid woman right there. So I will always be Team Heidi. She's a great woman.
I just want to appreciate the fact that Casto got through an entire story without freezing.
Yeah, you had no obscene facial expressions left to the side, like mouth wide open.
So you've gotten to do some pretty great promotions. You've gotten to meet some pretty awesome people. You have become a pretty awesome arm wrestler in this story. Always been an awesome person, but you got to be a pretty awesome arm wrestler through your journey. But what would you say is like your favorite part about the sport so far?
Oh, man. I want to say maybe like the social aspect. I feel like that's an easy answer because everyone's like the community. And like, yeah, I would say it's tied. It'd be like the social aspect because I'm not a social person. So when you see me, this is probably like my social event for like 6 months. I hide, I go to the gym, that's what I do. As far as the close second or like almost tied is like that moment on that table, like the go, like the rush of adrenaline for me. There's nothing like it, and I think that it kind of compares to me like competing with my horses. It's like a thrill that I just crave, and I think it's what keeps bringing me back.
Do you still have horses?
I don't. It was just too painful for me. Because I can't compete. And for me, it was like the thrill of competing. It wasn't really like the love of horses. That sounds terrible, but um, horses are a lot of work.
Oh, I
If
know,
I
I have
can't,
them.
yeah, if I can't compete, yeah, they're. Oh, I don't pity you. Like I don't envy you. You know, like it's that there's so much work, and they're always hurt. They're always falling apart.
I've
Yeah,
got some good
no.
ones. Mine are just hay burners, and they just stay in the field, and that's about all they do. So, but
Can you
my daughter was a what's that?
Mhm.
can you ride your horses?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, another thing that I can be mad at Casto for. Jeez Louise. I told you that when I was
Yeah.
child, I want to be a cowgirl. I was literally gonna grow up to be a cowgirl, and I ended up being an arm wrestler instead. You ain't ever invite me to ride your horses.
That's what my daughter did in 4-H. She was an English rider in 4-H.
Oh, I
Mm.
love English way more than Western. Everybody, all the trail rides here have Western saddles. So, sorry, Liz. I don't mean.
You're fine. We can talk horses if you want.
Anyway, we'll talk about something else. This is totally a rabbit trail. Apparently it's supposed to be a rabbit hole, but I still call it a rabbit trail story. But my dad, who is deathly afraid of water, who doesn't even like to go to the beach, when I was 13 years old, I drug him, or 16. I was 16 years old, and I dragged him to a movie called The Guardian because Ashton Kutcher was in it. And the man had a panic. Like, the man, I felt so bad. I panicked for him at the end of the movie because I was like, he doesn't like water. He just watched the Coast Guard movie where people almost drowned. Whoops. So just know that I don't do this intentionally. I don't bring in people's traumas intentionally.
Oh no.
I've been doing it ever since I was 16. When you're not arm wrestling, what are you up to? Besides the gym and posting all your thirst traps that make us all jelly.
I am a licensed counselor, and I work at a juvenile jail. So I work with kids ages 10 to 19, that have committed felonies and are being adjudicated and sent off to placement. But we also have like a lot of like CPS cases and human trafficking. So my day is filled with a lot of that. So like the gym is kind of my escape. Or like if I do cardio after work because a lot of times I just need to like clear my head. And so I can sleep at night, to be honest.
Yeah, you got to compartmentalize that stuff sometimes. You really do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My dad was a cop for 40 years and he worked sex crimes, and a lot of them were juvenile cases, and he had to work with kids, try to keep them out of jail. And I remember anytime they had to go to court, my dad would bring his ties to these kids, and just they never wanted to see them go to jail. You just did everything you could because they just had a rough go of it, and they're making stupid decisions, and you're just doing your best to save their lives. But people don't want to take the time to really genuinely help them. Like it's even worse now.
I think it's mostly like asking the hard questions.
Yep.
because it's easy for you just to like look at the charge at face value and like move on. But we've caught like several like human trafficking incidents and stuff like that where we like weigh the charges and get them home. Because we can ask the hard questions. Sometimes it takes a while. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, like they're sitting in jail for about a month before they're like open and will talk to me, and then we can like figure out where they need to go and where they belong.
Yeah.
But it's just an unfortunate situation.
Yeah. I watched my dad go through that, man. It's hard. So super hard.
My son worked for 15 years with the youth like that in the placement home they had here. It was like a group home. They have them all over our state, and that was what he worked with, was mostly child molestation cases where kids they had previously been molested and just went into being delinquents, and that were placed in these homes, shelters, and that's what he worked with, and he really enjoyed it. And they closed the facilities down, and he was the last person left in the facility when it closed, and he's now back into doing similar work to that, and he really enjoys it. Really enjoys
Yeah,
working with the youth.
it can be rewarding. There are days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Mm-mm-mm.
I work with middle schoolers, 7th graders.
See, you know, there's days. There are good days and there are bad days.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's puberty days. I feel sorry for middle school teachers. It was the worst for my kids. Absolute worst. I hated it, and I hated some of the teachers. No offense, Lucky. Some of them need to retire. Some of them just need to go.
I'm like, I'm not sitting next to you during a staff meeting. You're gonna tattle on me that I'm doodling.
I'm talking to people here like 25 years in, getting caught DUI during the school week, cussing at the kid. Yeah, I'm talking about the ones that are really burnt out and just go. We get it.
Dude, the way teaching is right now, I would say that even 5-year teachers that are burned out.
We just lost our principal. She was awesome, but her and her husband, I guess they were drinking and they got in a fight, and she put him in a leg lock around his neck, beat his ass, and she got fired. Got all caught on video as her as the aggressor, and I was like,
breaking news, teacher piece of
you know what? And the kids loved her. Like, we all loved her, but I was like, God dang it, nobody's gonna want to listen to you now. So
I had a parent suggest to me that I just start bringing a paddle and wearing their child out, and I was like, well, legally, do you have any other suggestions for how to get your child to do language arts? Please. Because
crap, man.
got health insurance and a mortgage she would like to continue to pay for.
The paddle was around in elementary for me. Mr. Harris, that thing set on the back of the wall with a bunch of holes in it. And anytime you got sass, he would bring it down and be like, you want some? And I'd be like, I want my mommy. So, yep, the paddle was there back in the day. I feel old now.
So,
old.
Can we talk training and meal prep? I saw some delicious looking pancakes that my carnivore self just like died and was so jealous of. But talk to us a little bit about what nutrition and workouts look like for you.
Yeah, so I've tried a lot, obviously. But I'm also like a certified nutritionist and personal trainer on the side. And so mostly like my diet is down to like macros and what works for me. Anything extreme is really, there's always sacrifices and body recomp, and like you could lose muscle mass and all this stuff. So like I'm really a proponent for carbs, even if you're cutting. I think there's a lot of mixed feelings about that. But yeah, so I'm all for the carbs and the fats and the protein, and it's just like a balance. And like if I'm prepping for a match, it just shifts slightly. And I'll just up my cardio. I'd rather die in the gym than not eat. I love eating, so it is what it is.
How long have you been certified for as a trainer? Did you go through ISSA?
I went through it's NA. Hold on, I'm gonna say it wrong. NASM. And I got certified last December.
In the nutrition aspect, because I usually know there's like when you're training, you take one level this way and then you add on courses. At least that's how it's here with ISSA.
I did it 2 different courses because
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I wanted the personal training, so I just got the nutrition first, and then I did the.
How long do you feel it actually took you to get your nutrition on point where you knew what it was doing for your body and like just hone into it? Like, because you know you have to ride that roller coaster of like maybe 4 weeks trying this, 4 weeks trying that.
To be honest, I still don't think that it's perfect. Like I feel like this last prep for East West was probably my best prep, hands down, on nutrition. Um, and what's crazy is it wasn't anywhere close to what I was doing before. So it was more, I would say, fat oriented. And my body usually doesn't respond well to high fat. So I switched it to like focus on fats more, to get that cut down. So like salads and fish, and it worked. I think that it's just where your body is at the moment, and you just kind of got to fine tune it and be really aware, and be checking every 2 weeks, okay, where I'm at. And honestly, like bodybuilders do the same thing. Not every cut is gonna go like it went last time, and your body might be, for me, like when I got my TBI, I think I was talking to Castro about this. Like my autoimmune for some reason got really out of whack. I had a lot of issues with organs. I still kind of do. And if I get really inflamed, my body's not going to respond to my nutrition the way it normally does. And those water cuts could go really bad for me. It could get that. It could go from like, oh, we're going great, to like, oh shit, like my body's just not going to give up the water. So, yeah, I would say, to answer your question, I would say it took me like, I mean, Sarah McKinney still gives me a hard time because my first cut, I cut like 45 pounds for her. That was the dumbest thing I could have done. But I would say like maybe 2.5 years into the sport that I started really, I would say this past like year was when I started like getting serious about it and being like, I want to, like, even if it's, a local event, I want to come in and ready like I'm walking onto the East West stage. I want to make sure that every event is like that, so I know that I can make it there and I can be my peak performance, if that makes
And
sense.
that's awesome. And I think women need to hear that because we have problems with sticking to nutritional routines. Like our consistency sucks because society's taught us that we need to have results just like that. But hearing how long it took for you to really kind of hone in more and paying attention, I think that's just something we women need to hear. It's a battle. Stick with it, ladies. You're doing great, But what's your macro split?
Well, one thing before I tell you my macro split, I think I messed it up so many times, and elite arm wrestlers will tell you this. They get on to me all the time for like my leg days. I think everyone knows I love leg day. Um, so it's okay to mess up, and honestly, like I understand that for females, the body type it's gonna be hard. You're gonna be like, well, I want to work my upper body, but I don't want to look really muscular and jacked, but I want to win, but I want to have the curvature, and I want to look feminine, and it's like it's a catch-22. And for me, I think what people seen in the past year and a half for me is like a sudden change, where like my upper body is coming in, and that is an intentional choice. Um, but I think it's different for people. It maybe alarms them, but it's just a different recomp than what I chose to do, and how I changed things in the gym. So there's that. As far as like my macro split, it's not going to be the same for everybody. I say that I'm going to put that out there. It's not. I'll repeat it again. It's not for everybody. Everybody's
Send
body
her
is
evil
different.
messages in 2 months saying, "Why isn't this working for me? I'm doing exactly what you said."
No, it's not going to work. But I will tell you, like, I don't do crazy amounts of protein unless I'm cutting, and like that's dangerous too. I don't do like my protein, I'll keep it around, I would say like 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. And then my fats are around like 20% of my macros, like so that like 20% of your calories. And then the rest is carbs. Like listen, I got an ass. That's where they come from. It's the carbs.
I get it.
And
So,
your body needs carbs to grow muscle. Like if you want to be jacked, you're gonna have to get comfortable with being chubby. Like I don't look like the photos that you see online. I don't. I even told Alexandra that in the interview. I'm like, girl, I'm gonna be on a stage at 80 kilograms. I'm sorry to tell you that. um, it's just, I'm not there to look hot. I'm there to compete. So
but there's nothing wrong with that. Sarah Bachman wants to know, because you talked about it on stage, like you're ready to go up in weight class, and I thought you were you calling her out? Because she's like, are you staying in the 154s or are you going to 176? Girl, you got to be
I'm
tired of
staying. I'm staying in the 154, Sarah. Don't even.
it.
I was
I
just
think it would
playing.
be, well, I actually think it would be cool for you to go up because I see you fluctuate very well and it looks good on your body, fluctuating from like 150 to 170. I think you would hold very well at that weight, you know.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna. I will be like. I think this year one of my goals is to start pulling some girls that are in the higher weight class. Um, if my schedule allows it, I think that I'm getting some pressure with my rank to perform at the 154. So I hesitate to jump up. Um, I think that's fair. Because
yeah, but having multiple titles, hey,
I
why not?
mean, as somebody who's headed down to the 154s, I'm all for you going up.
She's like, we chunky girls.
That's what I'm going to root for. I'm trying to get Scarlett out of the 154s. I'm trying to get her class at 138. I just need to move you up. I need to move Danielle up. I need to start feeding the Aaron some donuts, and then I'm coming for the 154.
Yeah, no, Sarah says no, come up. I think it would be great, but you have to do what's best for you and your goals and everything.
I think
So
it'll come in time. And I think I do have some things in the works. It hasn't been announced, and we haven't really talked about it yet because what people didn't know was that on East vs West stage, I was injured on my left, pretty severely. I couldn't even hold the peg when I was doing my camp. So it's there. It's just gonna, I'm gonna move up, and I'm gonna try to pull on my left in December against a certain somebody. She knows, she's probably watching. But I just need to make sure it's good. Like this today was the first time that I got through a whole workout. So I want to make sure that it's good and safe, and like I don't think she wants to hurt me and I don't want her to hurt me. So
It's going to be a
um
left-handed match.
it'll be a left-handed match, yeah.
wasn't your left bothering you a while ago too? Like
Yeah, it was. I've been benching. Sarah Bachman knows I've been benching, and it got me. Um, but don't worry, Sarah. I'm trying. I think it's gonna come in time, and I'm still a new puller, so I want to make sure I ease into it. I don't want to jump in and something happen.
She says, yeah, no rush. So she's in your corner. So I think do it right because nobody wants to see injuries. We want to see battles, you know.
Absolutely.
I kind of feel like your match at East versus West was a little mismatch, honestly. I
I
really
don't think
did.
it was. I don't think it was at all.
Well, you
Not at
dominated.
all. Yeah, but she, what's so crazy is I don't think people know this is that before I was even an arm wrestler, I was actually prepping for my first match with Sarah McKinney at Texas State. And I went to the World's IFA of Florida, not even as an arm wrestler, just to watch. And I watched Alexandra dominate on stage. And I was like, that's what I want, you know? And she is quick and she knows how to top roll and she's very strong in her hand. Um, I think I was really proud of myself because a couple of times she kind of went right under me and I like sucked her in the top roll and I was like, oh my God, holy shit, you know? But um but I think at one time in the strap she did take my hand. So I think it was like more even match than people think. And she's very strong in the strap. She's probably one of the strongest 154s I pulled. I don't think that people realize that from what happened at this on the stage, but
Yeah, I mean, it looked different because I know you were afraid to
yeah,
put you said you didn't want her in the strap. You know, it was like I'm gonna avoid the strap, but like y'all went
I was
into it, and
playing.
I was like, you down. I was like, well, I don't know, the strap might be what's gonna get you, girl.
I
You
don't know.
went
I had
in.
mixed messages. Some people were telling me to stay out of the strap with her, and other people were telling me like, "Do your thing, Liz." Like if you watched, I wasn't even setting up for my top roll. I wasn't setting up. I wasn't posting. I was getting behind my shoulder because like that wasn't the plan. But
Yeah.
it just she made it the plan.
This weekend we actually talked about that a little bit, and I would love to hear your thoughts on really women learning like hook, high hook, press, because in their opinion the top roll isn't going to get women to the next level. So
Pretty versatile.
what would you say to that, Liz?
Um, I mean,
And you're not
mixed
going to say,
reviews, right?
I'm just curious. We just had a
No,
conversation about that, so.
no, it's fair. It's fair. I think for me as like a newer puller, like I'm still learning that stuff myself. Um, I think I wasn't confident in setting Alexandra where I wanted her. And it was mostly like for me, I think it was just like everything was happening so fast. Um, that I just reverted back to what I was comfortable with. Um, I mean, that's normal for new pullers. I
You got
don't
all.
there's a lot of people that dominate in certain weight classes in a top roll. I don't think that's a fair statement. With that being said, the strong pullers, shit, like Sarah Bachman, yeah, you better learn how to hook. That's all I gotta say. But um, I don't know. I mean, you're there. It's what you're comfortable with, what you feel strong in, what your lane is, and what Malin told me. I think she told me this 2 years ago. Time flies, but what she told me when I was training with her was that don't get so caught up in like this little movement and this little movement and this person told you this and this person told you that. Get comfortable in what you're comfortable in and attack the table. And honestly, from there, that's where I grew the most.
That was like your
So
game changer statement right there.
yeah.
That was your Peter Parker with great responsibility.
I guess it's actually it's Malin's those are Malin's words. Those are not my words.
Yeah, she's a beast on the table. Matter of fact, so
she and Heidi had an amazing.
that's gonna say I want to see a super match with them real quick after their little pull at the tournament right prior. I want to see it. I'm gonna see a super match with them.
So you've gotten to compete everywhere. Oh well, maybe not everywhere, but you've competed in a lot more places than Lucky has. What has been your favorite place to compete so far?
That's so hard, especially after just the East West stage. That like,
What top three?
yeah, because the East West, like that environment, you were there. Like that was
It's next level energy through the roof, just standing
incredible.
there and
I don't,
watching. Everybody
yeah,
looks
and not
bigger
even
in
because I was
person.
competing. I feel like if you were just a spectator, it was mind blowing. Now we can use some AC, but other than that, it was great. Dang. I would say if I'm on the circuit, I really enjoy Winter Blast, but that is because people don't know that I'm actually from Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm
what
a
I was
PA.
gonna say. Winter Blast.
I was thinking the same
Yeah,
thing too.
I'm a PA girl at heart, so like that's like going home for me. Um, and I just like being home. I like being in the mountains. I just feel safe and I'm ready to just I don't know. But I would say Winter Blast. And then another one I really enjoyed was the Knuckles Up event. I think it was really well done. Um, and they made sure that the athletes were taken care of. Um, so I would say, I know those are big promotions. I would say like on the road, it would be Winter Blast for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Winter Blast was the first time I'd ever seen you pull in like a tournament, and that was really cool. And then the first time I ever watched you pull was Knuckles Up, and yeah, first of all, obviously big Purple fan, so we are huge supporters of Knuckles Up, and I just love hearing from you and Nadia and Danielle, just all
Adam, yeah.
how well they treat you ladies, how well they treated you ladies, and I think that's
Yeah.
huge in our sport because not a lot of promoters do. They don't show us the same consideration as they do the men pullers. So
I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. When I said they treated us well, I meant like it was just like well done. There's
uh,
a lot of, I think, a lot of, yeah, I don't want to say that it was better than, because honestly, like one of the reasons why I go to Winter Blacks is because Sue puts on like she really cares for the ladies and you can see the passion she fights with. Like I have no doubt behind the scenes Sue is throwing down for some women's classes. I think that she goes underappreciated for that. And so I would say that we're being treated behind the scenes. We just don't know it, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
sorry, I didn't mean to misconstrue what you said.
No. It was not, I wasn't correcting you. I was just saying like, it's different promotions. And I think that there's some good ones out there. We just got to hunt them down, you know?
Everybody left them wolf pack backpacks everybody got. Adam still carries his to practice. That thing is nice. You can put so much shit in there. So, and
Yeah,
they're
I'm not
expensive.
gonna lie. But I mean, you can't bribe us. Come on now.
I mean, huh?
So I guess that kind of leads up to like what's been the best promotion that you've been a part of, because you've done a few, you compete in Texas, up north, overseas with East versus West. So would you narrow it down to like one, or does each one have like its own thing that makes it super special?
Yeah, that's so hard.
Hey,
I
Steph.
think it,
Hey,
I think we're also talking on different levels of promotion. So like you're comparing like a trip to Disney World to like going to your hometown and
Fair.
seeing all your
Mhm.
friends, you know?
Yeah. And one promotion hasn't been around as long as the other one, so it's like,
Yeah, and then it's also special to be like, I think you saw like if I go, you'll see like me like travel to Erie or you'll see me like you go to like a TAL event or and just like pull the boys. Like it's it's just different because you're around different people and you're different circles. Uh, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I get what you mean.
Oh,
Very cool. So, do you have like a famous? Do you have a favorite arm wrestler or somebody that you are looking up in this sport as far as a coach, a trainer? It doesn't have to be a female. It could totally be a male. That's fine. But I just like to ask people.
Lies. You want me to say a female? Don't even.
You have a male and a female. There you go.
No,
Top
I
male,
tell
top female.
everybody it could be a male or a female. But I do like for people to have an idea of like who to look up and who to follow on Instagram and who to get good YouTube videos from, so they can get like the best advice. So you have
Yeah,
something.
well, you have all the givens, right? You got Malin and Fia and Sarah Bachman, and you have Angie Rose and Michelle Dugan, and I mean, you got all Gabby. Like, I'm gonna forget, but like, you got the givens, right? And of course, I have so many male arm wrestlers that I currently work with, and I take bits and pieces from them. I'm not sure I'm gonna name them, to be fair. Because that's just my ace in the hole. But um, one that I've been watching recently, which kind of intrigues me, and I didn't bring this up during the interview, and that's my bad, was I'm gonna say her name wrong. I know I'm gonna say it wrong. It's like Ingle.
Oh yeah. I always want to say I see eagle, but I know that's not how you say it. But I think
Yeah.
it's like
Her matches like
Egglet?
really, yeah, her matches really like intrigue me, and I really admire her strength. Um, and I like the way that she pulls. So I just kind of been paying attention a little bit more to that one. It's not to say there's anything really like that's like, oh, like she's the best. I don't know that. She's one that I like and admire, and I can see her work ethic and that she really has the drive and wants it. So that's who I've been watching.
Yeah, I like her a lot. I like bumping it. Like the foreign women do it for me. Sorry, America. No offense, Liz. But when you look at them across the board on athletes and all type of stuff between CrossFit and strongmen, European women dominate, and it's still a beautiful thing to look at. And it's women praising women, and sometimes I feel like American women don't have that much drive as they do, but yet the ones that do have it aren't showcased enough. So I mean, like, how many? I know there's only one Liz, but how many women do you know train like you? How many?
I feel like that's a trick question.
Well, like no, I don't want it to be a trick question. It's legit because I asked Gabby and all of them, and it's seriously, you don't see a lot of us on East versus West. You're not seeing very few. You're seeing if it's a foreign person who's now American, moved over, so they're dual citizen, you've got that. But I mean, there really isn't a homegrown on the stage. There's
I
very
think
few.
maybe there could be a few. I already promised Lucky I wouldn't mention her name, but I feel like
We know. Just a nod. You're good.
I feel like there's a few that are working behind, like, I just don't think that maybe they're as on media that I am. Um, and I want to recognize those women. I know they're working hard. I know, frick, Nadia, that girl's been trolling my ass for like a couple of months now. I don't even know if people can see it.
She's
But
feisty.
like, yeah, and I admire her. She's beaten my ass
Yeah,
several times. But
I gotta say something about Nadia. I don't think she is coming across
no, I know,
being
I
mean.
know,
She doesn't. Yeah, her English is so.
I know.
She didn't
That's why
know
you have to
hardly
take it.
any English at all when she first came here.
We need to get her a nicer English teacher that isn't going to say.
When I say
Yeah.
when I say troll,
Yeah.
I mean like she is so competitive that she'll like send me like she's moving up to 154 weight. Like she's competitive.
Yeah, I love that.
She's letting me know that she wants to rumble, even though she's beating my ass. I have one win on her, but like I get it. I see Nadia. But like that's what I mean. Is like there's women that are working really hard behind the scenes. I just don't think that they're on social media as much. And that's
Yeah.
fine. Social media is just like a goal of mine. I'm trying to grow it. I maybe I'm not as vocal as telling people I'm trying to grow my social media, but it's not to be like, look at me. I'm just trying to really grow my social media.
Go follow her. I'll say it for you. Go follow her, find her, and hit all those likes, and then share it with your friends. and have them hit all the ones.
It seems like Nadia's got a good, fun trash talking thing going. So antagonize you a little bit in a fun way. I feel like the guys can do that seamlessly, easily, but women, not so much, you know.
Yeah,
So that's, I
there's
think that's cool.
a fine line for women between like competitive banter and just being like hateful. And I think that we need that's something I wanted to bring up is like I think there's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of third party information that maybe isn't always correct. And I listen, I don't know, some people remember Castro. I definitely know you remember this. But I got caught up in it when I was really early into the sport. And it got ugly between another me and Sarah McKinney actually. And I didn't know that we don't talk to each other like that. I didn't know that, we there's a fine line for women. It doesn't for men, it's like totally cool that you like insult them all the way up to their mom, But
They're
for
bubble tea.
women, it's not. And and promoters got involved and third parties got involved and like we really couldn't settle it until we got on the table. And I think that's just important, just like for us to sit back and be like, let's just cool off. Let's not everybody get involved. Let's take out the third parties and let's like hash it out. Um, and the same thing for Nadia is like I know Nadia in person. I know she's not attacking me. Her and I like laugh all the freaking time after events and stuff. So it's who you I think you have to meet in person, see the person for who they are, and be like, just like Angie Rose, like I called her out at East First Stage, West Stage. I didn't say her name on purpose because
I thought you were calling out Sarah.
no, when the adrenaline is running, listen, I learned my lesson. When that adrenaline is running, you do not do call outs. Okay. You don't do it. It's just not a good idea.
I think that's what some people forget
Ask
too.
Lucky that one.
When the
What?
adrenaline's going through you on the stage, you can either A, sound really stupid or make an ass out of yourself or
Mhm.
put your foot in your fucking mouth. But because that had him to Adam on his first thing, he won and everybody was like, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, go back and watch the tape. And they thought it was such a douchey thing he said. And I was like, dude, he dominated it with his first match. He like go back and watch the tape. It was great. There was nothing rude. So then everybody was like, you had to get out there and apologize. And I was like, people are so sensitive. I was like, come
I
on.
love, I don't
Because
think you realize
sorry,
the
go ahead.
adrenaline.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was Sarah Wilson and I actually had this conversation after because I watched y'all's interview and then I watched Hunter's and Doug's interview. And I was
Mhm.
like, Hunter and Doug's interview literally has, it's literally like the third most viewed, right underneath like Devin's interview, right underneath John, because like that's what everybody feeds into. But like if Liz and Alexandra do this, like it's going to be such a negative thing. It's going to be like people are just going to eat them alive. But yet people are eating up the fact that Doug and Hunter are doing it and they're loving it.
See, but
Which is
that being said, I'm gonna say this is like you gotta understand too, like promoters also want to see women fight. Like some do, because it sets up the match for them, right? And then honestly, I'm just gonna say that I'm sure I'm gonna get hate for this, but like if you think about it, they don't necessarily have to put out and pay either, because at that point there's so much conflict, there's so much pressure, you're both running your mouths, you're so heated that you take the match no matter what, and you fly there, and you know what I mean. So I you gotta take it, you gotta like sit back and be like, all right, who's feeding me this information and why? Is there a promotion coming up that someone might want me to have a match? And with Hunter and them, like, yeah, like they are. Hunter is on a trajectory where he's gonna get another match. So if he's gonna run his mouth because he's there, that's it. It's helping his media presence, and it's gonna help him get another match.
Right.
and he's a
I know.
again genuine athlete, and I mean Hunter and them have those little battles, like somebody lost a
Oh,
bet
yeah.
and had to tattoo some shit on their butt. It's hilarious. But what's really cool about some of the guys that talk crap, they know they're playing for it. They go behind message scores like, listen, let's juice it up, but no hard
Yeah.
feelings. This is how far I'm gonna go. You good? You good. And some people do that, and I sit back and laugh. I just think it's freaking hilarious sometimes.
Well, even like Alexandra and
I think Hunter and Doug was actually mostly staged, if not all staged. That's my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Hunter can accept my friend request and send me a message and say it's wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was mostly staged, if not all staged.
Slightly, I think there's like an agreement where they're like, we're gonna put on a show, but I don't think it's all staged necessarily. But like I will say that this was different for my match with Alexandra than it was Carolina, because Carolina and I really had like no communication. And whereas like Alexandra and I, we were friendly. She is the sweetest woman ever. Yeah, I think she knew I was nervous. And like we were been joking, like we both were catching these like water bugs in our hotel room in our coffee cups, and like we were sending each other pictures of like they look like cockroaches, but they're like water beetles, water bugs.
They're palmetto. They're kind of like palmetto bugs. They fly. So
yeah, but like we were creating like whole villages. So like I think it's just different who your match is with, and like to be honest, I also respect the women that like don't want to be friends. They want to keep their distance. Like if that's their headspace, that's their headspace. You know.
I like that you respect that, because you know it's not personal, because again, it's game day, it's showtime. You know, we have to realize the person at the end of the other side of the table is the enemy until afterwards. We can be all that, but I'm you know, you're coming over there to kill somebody. Not literally, but you know, physically.
I don't care. When Castro and I have a super match, when she's 80, I'm totally taking her down, getting in her head.
Watch your dentures fall out on the table and sling them across the room. Terrible. So Liz, you're supposed to be getting another match, right? Because Artem got his. He's already had his too. And I remember Ingen posting that. So you're supposed to get another match. Do you know when? Maybe can you even talk about that?
I don't know how to answer that.
We can
I think it's a little
skip.
right.
I'm just gonna say I think it's different. It's different for women. I'm just gonna put that out there. For men.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if I haven't won before in the East West stage. Maybe there is a card for me. I won't really know. Probably my guess is like 6 to 4 weeks out. That's typically the time frame I get, which is also why I'm kind of scared to like move up a class in case I have to cut back down. Which also is like makes it hard for call outs with rankings, is like I don't want to take a match and agree to something and put my rank on the line. Not that I not willing to put my rank. I put my rank on the line this past weekend, right? That has nothing to do with it. It's that I don't want to commit to somebody and have them work and dedicate their time and cut for me to turn around and say, I'm so sorry, I have an East-West match and this is more important to me. I don't want to do that.
I get that. I think a lot of people didn't understand that from the outside looking in, and hearing it's good. It needed to be said, because we all have these freaking assumptions.
Like I did that to Daniel Evanson. Yeah, like I did that to Daniel Evanson, my first East-West match. And like she understood completely, obviously. But that's still shit, you know? So it's not that I'm not willing to, it's not that I don't want to jump up in weight class. It's like I would like to be like, hey, just so you know, you do have another match coming up. I don't know when, but like you do, or I don't, or maybe, or
I think that's
a time frame.
What I notice about the East versus West stage is so many times, because they'll have like the guys cards and at the end it says like East versus West status or whatever, and a lot of times it'll be like 5 and 6, 8-3, and so that means they've been there, 8 or 9 times. When it is the ladies, it's always like 0-0 or 1-0 if they're lucky. Like because there's so few matches for us there, it's very rare that we get multiple chances on that stage.
I think there's an opportunity. I
Yeah.
think it just worried me a little bit. Like, I think that Egan posted something about like not having qualifiers anymore. So if anything, like there might be like a card for being on the Challenger Series, where if I win that, then I go to East versus West maybe, or maybe there's a KOTT match, or I'm even up for like I would love to be like on Arm Wars, or like I saw this like new not I guess it's not new. I just found it. So that I guess that makes it new to me. But like a German promotion that like heck, I don't care. I'll go over there. You kidding me? Like sign me up. I don't even care. So I don't know what's in the cards for me. I just know that I need to have like some cushion just in case. And it's not to be personal, it's not to be hateful, and it's not to be like, now I'm not a boo-boo, like I'm running from everybody. It's just like, if I have to do prep for 6 weeks, that's what I gotta do.
Right.
Yeah, you also have, I mean, again, prepping and that also takes an account of avoiding injuries. A lot of people didn't understand the weigh-ins being 2 days prior. Well, you've got people traveling and you guys need to weigh in, and then you need to re-nourish to avoid injuries. Chad Silvers was breaking that whole down for me because I didn't understand it. I was like, why do you do that? He's like, because it's the safety for the athlete. So there, everybody,
For my first East West part, I didn't get to weigh in. I think it was like, I want to say I was definitely grumpy. I think it was like Friday at 9 a.m. But then again, we didn't really compete until like 8 p.m. the following day. So like there was a 24-hour window. But it still is like really hard because you're doing the cut over there. I think that it benefited all athletes for like a Thursday weigh-in. Like if anything, if we traveled over internationally, I would love to be able to fly in earlier and weigh in earlier.
I agree.
I think that would help all Americans or whoever's, I guess, representing the West.
People don't understand too, when you travel across country, your body mass changes regardless. If you could be completely empty, you're going to be 154 here. You go to Thailand, you're going to probably be 170. So you do need that time.
I lost a shit ton of weight when I traveled. It does. It just depends. And no, but I'm glad you brought up like the injury thing. I see a lot of like mixed messages about weigh-ins and whether it's fair or not. And for someone cutting, let me tell you, for someone cutting 21 pounds, I would like to refeed my body properly before a tendon leaves my body.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when you're cutting, you're grumpy. Shane cut, he had dropped like 14 pounds in like 2 weeks before the last tournament, and like he came in, he was sweating, let me just get this done, and I need to eat, and then like he was just nasty. Like even his wife was just like, you're not doing this one again. But it's hilarious. But yeah, I don't want to do the cutting. I like being fat a little bit because I'm already a bitch at this. Nobody else needs that extra angry.
So, just out of curiosity, because like you and Jocelyn are in the kind of like a very similar boats in the fact that you guys are both number one North American. You earned it, you got it, end of story for anybody who question. Like that's just how it is right now. Obviously 154, she's 155 plus. And she had traveling she was doing. She was waiting to see if she was going to get called for East versus West. You're on the call for East versus West. So when we're looking at like the rankings, is there like, because Arm Fighter doesn't do rankings for females. The only other female rankings that there are the
Aries.
Sorry?
The Aries?
Well, but that's the rating, and so I don't really count that as a ranking because, like, I'm higher than that I could never beat in the world, and it's only because I go to tournaments.
Yeah, that's more like isn't it more of a point system?
Yeah, it's more of a point. Like, the more you win, the more points you get. The what you lose points. But like, yeah, I don't count that at all because like on 2 of the lists I'm above Angie, and I'm like, what? No, this is wrong. But the Southeastern rankings, and then like obviously individual states do theirs. So is there like a better system that we should be looking at doing? Because like, it's not fair for people like you and Jocelyn or, Sarah to have to accept every single call out in order to stay up there when you guys are prepping.
Well, that's the thing is like, we're not, I think that's what the confusion is, right? Because like, we're not under obligation to accept the call out.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right? So like the rule is if as long as I compete at 154 within that year frame,
you stay there.
Here's the thing also, if you look at it from this standpoint, right?
Well,
Let's say
that's why I'm asking because I don't know because I've never talked to Chance about it. I just see the list, so I don't even know what.
Here's the other thing is like, let's say a competitor, let's say I get hurt, right? Because technically I am hurt right now. So like, let's say I get hurt and I'm getting called out, and then I say, okay, well, like wait 6 months, and then that person is hurt. Is it fair for me to be like, well, you did a call out, so like, time's up, let's go, like, so it's like, I think it is more so about like mutual respect, what works best for both pullers, find a time and an appropriate venue, and be like, this match, because it's for rank, deserves a top promotion. Let's be patient. Let's do this right. And with that being said, too, it can be like, okay, well, like East West is in January, we can do a top promotion in June, or and we can put this at like the Challengers, or we can put this at Knuckles Up, or we can. So I think that for women, like, I think we can do better. I think that we can like really like if we want to showcase ourselves, we can do it right instead of getting caught up in egos and doing call outs and bullying each other. And let's like put our heads together. Let's really showcase the women. That's just my thought. Also, like it gives Jocelyn or me, myself, or even like second, third, like you guys, second and third, they deserve freaking matches. I'm like all for putting women, like I'll sometimes like Travis contacted me, I think it was like February, and I'm like, dude, I got something going on, contact the next in line. Like that, I think women that are, on the rankings deserve matches too.
Yeah. And I think that's kudos to you going, listen, take the next one. They need something. Showcase them. I'm already lined up. I'm doing me. I think that's like an applaud to you to say, yeah, the next person in line deserves their shot. So you should be calling them. At least the top 5. Let's talk about them. The only having the 2 rankings for women though, I know everybody's the 154, the 155 plus. I mean, it kind of sucks still, but a lot of people say those are the weight classes that
and then
show up.
We're only top 10 for in the hooks rankings. Every men's class right and left gets the top 20, and so again, it's just selling people short.
That's a lot to keep up with, though. To be fair to Chance, like,
I'm not blaming Chance. I'm just saying.
No.
Knock them down, Chance. Men only need 10.
I'm saying for the women, I'm gonna call out the women on this. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be the bad guy. Because
women all the time.
Even top.
I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you.
Sorry, let her talk, guys. Let her talk. She could be
even top, even top 20, like even our Texas State rankings, we had to do like a deep clean, and I would say even top 20 is like how many of those top 20 women are actively pulling? Let's be honest. How many? Because like I'm not saying they don't deserve to be up there. I'm not saying that. Don't come for me. I swear, if you start coming for me, I'm peacing out. What I'm saying is like, if you want to be up there, you want to be showcased, you want it, show up. That's it. It doesn't have to be Winter Blast. It doesn't have to be travel to California or Washington or whatever. Go to your local events, show up, support, like just enter a class. But like if you're not active,
you can't complain.
That's true. And chase the losses. You're going to be, you may be a winner all the get-go, but you're going to lose, and losing comes with it.
Chance doesn't want to hunt your ass down and be like, let me see if number 20 like competed this year. Because he still has Angie in the 154s. Angie has said 1,000 times, my ass is not going to 154. Like
he's got somebody in there on the somethings that no, I think like in the 170s that has been retired for several years. Yeah, that needs to come off.
And and Chance is a busy man. Like he's competing too. So
yeah, how can we help you, Chance?
Right.
Yeah, and he's taken apart with helping with East versus West. So
I got you. I'll take it off your plate, Chance. But
it's hard to keep up with it too, because like let's say Liz disappears, which like I'm tempted to at this point. But like let's say Liz disappears, right? But like I sneak off and I hit some random ass tournament in Lubbock. I technically still did what I was supposed to do, and I still hold the rank.
Right.
Mm-hmm. How is Chance supposed to keep up with that?
You can
you have to tell him. Call him and tell him, people.
Lucky looks every time Corey Miller puts out a bracket. Lucky goes and looks at the women's classes and says, okay, who should I be paying attention to? Who should I maybe reach out to about doing the show? That's just the way that I do it, because I just like to stalk female arm wrestlers. But I know Chance, like you said, Chance is busy. Chance doesn't have time to sit on Facebook and look at all that either.
No. There's some people who just they don't care about rankings. There's a lot of guys that are like that. There's probably
I thought about taking my name off. To be honest with you, like Paul Lynn was just like, if you want to focus on the large promotions and that's what you want to do, take your freaking name off the rank.
No, there you go. I mean, you do what's best for you as a person. You want to, don't get me wrong, we all work as a team and everything, but it's an individual sport with team support. So
yeah, but then it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like you got to think it through. But I'm just being honest, because I think that these are things that we don't really talk about as women. It's like
no
behind the scenes.
What do you think keeps women from showing up to pull? Because I'll be here in South Carolina, there's nobody. We had
I'm
3.
not the one to ask that. I don't have kids.
Don't get on. You're good.
I had this conversation, so that Liz isn't the only one saying it on the show, and nobody clips her and points it out. I had this conversation with 2 people today of like the frustration, because like one, there's been 2 events that I have attended, and one event that I was invited to that had amateur women. Winter Blast offered amateur women, and 1 woman showed up for that. All right, and then when I pulled in the amateur classes at nationals, I did very well because I was pulling women at my level. And so, but at the same time, you have a huge event where women showed up and the amateur classes were full, and then you had an event where nobody showed up for it. And so, like, when that
being said, though, is like, I will say, I don't think that women need to get caught up on like amateur versus open. And I'm only saying that if we're talking like, if you're going to like East-West finals, yeah, like you need to like figure out an amateur class if you feel like you're an amateur. But if we're talking like a local event or like a state event, put your butt in open. Just do it. Like the refs aren't gonna let you get hurt. They're not.
Right. But I've only ever been open. In the 15 tournament, I've been in 15 tournaments in less than a year. And every single one except for 2. And even the one when I went to nationals, I still pulled open. I pulled Michelle Dugan, got my butt kicked. I pulled Maddie Walker, and everybody saw how that turned out. Like, it's not that I'm scared to pull open or pull up. It's just the fact that I wish it was more recognized that women are pulling these veterans, whether we're a year in the sport, 3 years in the sport, 2 years in the sport, or 32 years in the sport. We are pulling, the elites.
Of course,
Yeah.
I recognize that. I'm just saying that like it's hard for us to even fill an open class, let alone an amateur class. And that's not, I'm not saying you can't pull amateur. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not calling you scared at all. Let me get that straight. Like, no, I trust me. You know how many times Michelle Dugan, she'll get on here and tell you how many times she wore my ass out. Okay. So, but I also think that like you learn a lot by pulling them, and you learn like, okay, this time I got to stop. And this time Michelle had to kick in the third gear. Like, or this time she actually, you had to do the strap and because we slipped. Or I think you learn a lot, and I want to encourage women not to be scared to pull and open. A lot of people don't even know this about me, but like my first ever event was Texas State. Period. I didn't pull amateur. I did get my ass kicked, 1000%. I took dead last. But it was Texas State, and 6 months into the sport, it was IFA Nationals. So like, you I think you learn something is what I'm encouraging it. And like I know it's like a lot of money, and you're like, I'm gonna probably take last, but like you're not walking away with nothing. I promise you.
Yeah. And there's ways to get around some of the budgeting and stuff. If you find somebody that's in your state, travel with them, share a hotel, it is what it is. Tell your husband to stay home with the kids too. It's his turn, or your dog, whatever,
I travel
so. Cut coupons, ladies. I'm telling you, that shit works.
DoorDash, people, DoorDash.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
that's
back.
too expensive.
Put my face back on.
I got you.
Sorry.
I didn't want you to get us banned.
Oh, for driving? I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'm finally home in my room.
Oh yeah.
Liz, how many women are how many women are pulling in Texas? Like you've got you and Sarah. I don't know of any other women there.
Actually, we do have a good group of I won't call them amateur because they are doing really freaking well. I would say we have about like 4 or 5 now that show up to almost every Texas event. And they all come out of Austin currently, I think. I hope I'm not wrong. I think they all come out of Austin. With the Austin Arm Wrestlers crews. And we have a range of weights too. Like we do have Sky Renee. I think she's 135. She might be even lower than that. And she's looking for a match, actually, like a super match. So like and
Tell her to do one for the On the Rise event.
Yeah, send her out to San Diego.
Because whoever they're qualifiers for the Arnolds. So
I think she's got her eye on Latanya. So
Sarah,
yeah.
go for it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But
Please send her On the Rise event. Match to promote.
But like we do have a lot of girls that are going on, and I've been like, there's one SD, like I've been working with her probably for the past 2 years too, and she was like she's a sumo wrestler actually.
Is that SD Marie?
Yeah,
I started following her. That's all we all get to start following each other and know. And like when you're coming to an event, if you're coming to our state, let us know. Again, we could probably help you with finding a hotel, let you stay at someone's house. That might be a little pushy for some, but
And Camille comes to a lot of our Texas events too. So like we have a good group of women in Texas. What you're seeing is like I try to pull in the men's divisions. I want to encourage the women to pull, and I know like just like you said is like a lot of them want the amateur class, and I don't think that's necessary. I think like if I just kind of kindly bail out and step aside a little bit and let them showcase their talent, And if they want to pull me, I'd be happy to. But I think that I want to see them grow and learn and feel comfortable.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I do at my West Virginia states. I haven't pulled it, I think, in like 10 years, because I just want whoever that comes in to feel like it's open for them to grow and let it, build up a little bit. So I don't pull my own West Virginia states to now if somebody
Not
comes
Texas
in
State.
and challenges me, that's a different thing. So
I mean, Texas State, I'm not gonna lie, I do pull Texas State because there's a crap ton of cash. So I do that.
What did you all just which one did you all just have like a couple weeks ago that the TAL did?
I think, are you talking about the Garage to Fitness that you saw me at?
No, it wasn't that. It was some sort of state championship.
Who knows? TL's on a lot of sponsoring stuff too, so I just see their stuff everywhere.
It might have been like in conjunction with something.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay.
Liz, what do you think about this free women entries for a lot of tournaments? How do you feel about that? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I don't like it. To me, just for me,
okay, okay. So
I like to pay my way.
Here's why I don't like it. Is it's kind of like we're trying to get the men to respect us and demand equality, right? And I feel like I understand that money is an issue for a lot of women. I understand. I get it. It's hard for me. I work a side job and I work full time. I understand. And I drive a beat up car currently because I'd rather travel and do other things. But we also want to give back to the community and we want to show equal respect. And those promoters are paying our refs. The refs that make sure that you're safe on the table, the refs that they're on their feet for 8 hours at a time and they're not getting water and they're asking for someone to feed them a sandwich. Your entry fees go to them. I'm not sure if that's well known, but that's what it's going towards. It's not going into their pockets. Probably a small amount is, but it's not. It's going back. It's going into the wards. It's going into all sorts of things. It's going into like renting out the facility, renting out the room, renting out whatever they need, right? So, or equipment. And I think that if you demand to see like high quality matches and you want it on your HD, like, how do you think that they're affording that?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I took it as an insult. Some people took it as, well, we're trying to get the women to come in, but it's also like it's given into that sexist thing that men should do these little things for us to make us
catered to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, first, and this is how I'm saying, if you're going to get into a sport, understand this: sports cost money. If this is your happiness, you're going to have to throw some money in it. You're going to bitch and complain, but you're going to have to willing to fall on your sword. If it's not your happy, that's okay. Don't shit on it.
Sacrifices have to be made and everybody makes different sacrifices. It's sometimes it's hard to like think outside of yourself and be like, well, I had to do this and I had to do that and she didn't have to do that. You don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know what her finances look like.
Yeah. That's when we get bitter. Yeah, we get bitter and cynical. You don't know why she
doesn't have kids. You don't know why, people make choices. And to me, like, I grew up as an athlete. I don't know people. I was on the Olympic route, and I went D1. Like, to me, I was taught at a very young age, if you want something, it costs something. Mm-hmm. It could cost your freaking soul. So it's not for everybody. and I'm serious. And there's different levels. I'm being honest. Like, you could be perfectly happy and it could be a hobby and you can go to your state events. That's great. I applaud you. There's nothing negative about that. But at the end of the day, you can't whine if you want something more.
Exactly. And willing to give up your distractions. I was telling the girls, like, I'm sorry, I don't feel like I've been promoting lately, but I realize social media is distracting me. It is taking away from training and my happiness. And so I hit on it every now and then, get on, hop right off, and then I go eat my crap, work out, and figure out how to be better because I'm the slowest crap and I'm tired of being slow. You know?
It costs like family vacations. It costs you your PTO. Like I had to have hard conversations with my husband too and be like, yeah, I really would love to go to this anniversary trip, but I have the round robin. But like, I also want to keep my PTO open in case East West calls me. Like, what if I have to go to Turkey? It's going to be like an extra 2 days off of work. Like, those are things that I don't think that we talk about.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to make a lot of my practices, even though kids are welcome, but sometimes I need that space away from them. My boyfriend sits home and he takes care of the kids while I do a 6-hour commute every Sunday for practice, you know? So, and if I want to go to the tournament and I need to go by myself, he's here doing that. So yeah, there's people kind of helping us. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy because I had to sit down and have that conversation. I said, listen, I need this team. This is where I need to be. We got to figure out how to get me there because Sundays are my day. I don't care what y'all want to do. Sundays are mine. That's all I'm asking for is
Fridays
to
are
have a
mine.
freaking Sunday. So I had to take it by the ovaries. I won't say whatever.
Yeah,
But
Fridays are mine.
yeah, I'm tired of being miserable. I'm tired of not accomplishing the goals I want. I finally realized that I'm in my way. I'm the one that's complaining and not doing anything about it. I was being bitter and cynical, going, everybody's doing all this. And I was envious. And it was like, you know what? Shut your mouth, go to work.
Mhm.
That's right, ladies. Come on.
It's hard to like to look at yourself and say that, but
accountability is the hardest work you will ever do in your life. It really is. So, but yeah.
Well, I'll just play devil's advocate and say that Lucky traveled to 6 different states the last 4 months and entered and paid in all 4 of the tournaments that she entered. So here in August, thank you, VAL, for Saturday for free entry for ladies because it's given my wallet a break. I put in hundreds of dollars into this sport the last 4 months. So I'm going to be enjoying me walking inside of the paper and not handing Dan and Josh any money.
This past weekend.
Yes, and West Virginia after I drove 4.5 hours to watch this lady right here show why she's the GOAT. Yes, she had free ladies entries as well. And you know, it is what it is. If promoters can do it and they can swing it, and they're gonna have I'd say anywhere from 2 to 4 ladies. I think if it gets bigger than that, then I'm right there with you. But you know, paying $50 to pull one girl 2 times.
Well, even better than that, we had a free tournament at Grinder Gym, and we're doing another free tournament in like 2 weeks.
Free for everybody or free for ladies?
Free for everybody. A big, huge free tournament. And it was run smooth and well. We didn't have any awards, but it was really fun.
Yeah. I can
so it was an open practice.
I'm sorry. I like my
No, it was
awards.
a tournament.
I like titles. I like titles.
It was an open practice. I mean, it was an open practice with brackets.
Yes.
That's what we do. We have those huge. Yeah, we have those.
I would call those mock tournaments.
It's awesome. Yeah.
It was really fun for the kids. A bunch of kids came. And you would be surprised at how fast the kids class goes.
They call them dress rehearsals for tournaments.
I like mock tournaments. That sounds
that works too. But I like dress rehearsals. All right. We have the Jessie question.
Call them tournaments.
Mock tournaments.
We have the question. I told Jessie I would name this question after her because she was the one that came up with it. So thank you, Jessie, for this question. Liz, where do you see arm wrestling going in 5 to 10 years?
Oh,
Just
I
don't
hope
say
it's
the
on the,
Olympics. Set off the chat.
yeah, I hope it's like on the same trajectory that I feel like it's on a good trajectory right now. I feel like we could have some really good solid promotions and they're building and can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like we're in a good spot. I know like promotions come and go and promoters come and go. Um, I keep hearing like whispers of wall. I don't know what that's gonna look like. But I really think that Egan did a really nice thing to bringing East West over to America, and I think that we can really run with it. I know Chance is doing the Challenger Series. Um, you got Knuckles Up, like rocking it in the Northeast. You have Tim Talmadge out in the West. I think we're in a good place. I really do, and I could see it just building in 5 to 10 years.
Where
I
would
don't
you
think we're
like
going to the Olympics.
No, I'll have my opinion on that off camera. Where do you think the next East versus West should be held? A lot of people are, I saw a lot of people asking for Texas. I've seen Vegas. A lot of people said Chicago. A lot of people said they didn't want to be murdered in Chicago, but they still said come back to Florida.
I think Beijing was pushing for Chicago. Um,
I wonder
Texas would
why.
Texas would be a good one, only because I think that like we have a lot of infrastructure that could handle it if
Mhm.
we wanted to build larger than we did this past event. Um, just more options in the Dallas area, I really think, or even like it'd be interesting to see it, I think, in the Houston area. Um, but I don't know how like I don't know what I think a lot of people are caught up on like airlines and what it'd be like to travel to Texas. I think Florida was just like an easy given, just like kind of Knuckles Up was like all the flights came in smoothly to JFK or Newark. What would be I was really excited. I think it was Todd Hutchings. I could be wrong, but I think he brought up Las Vegas. Um, if that happens, Egan better put me on that card because
Yeah,
um,
and definitely need a place like
sign me
theater
up, please. I don't care. Oh,
seating. Yeah, we don't need banquet seating. We
sorry, I
need
couldn't hear you.
theater seating. So if he does a venue, we need theater seating, theater seating because sitting on top of people
Yeah,
where you really couldn't see, like again, a lot of us decided to stand and sit on the wall. Other than that, because your butt was sweating to the chair. But yeah, you live and learn. Everything that was a hiccup in Orlando is completely fixable. You know, finding a
well,
hotel
I
in
think too,
Tennessee.
like Las Vegas would be cool because you have like I know there was like Mr. Olympia and stuff like that that's held there, and they have the theater seating already there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like East West, like Turkey, it was a theater. It was theater sets seating. Like
Yep.
there was, yeah. So I don't know if we could. I don't know. I was excited for Las Vegas, but maybe I was just being selfish.
Yeah.
I think so. Those are good. There are definitely states that should obviously be like counted out immediately, like West Virginia. I promise I wouldn't say that all week. West Virginia and Ohio. And, like, we can just count those out right now because those are in the like 48 and 50 for worst states in America. But I don't think there's going to really be like a bad location, especially when you throw like a title like East versus West on it, that people are like, I'm not going to that state for that. It's going to be more of a like, oh, I'm going to try, but if I don't make it, I don't make it.
Yeah, so many people have showed
Honestly,
up in Florida. I don't think location's going to be that crazy of a difference.
I think the guys
Amanda,
probably.
where do you live, Amanda? Do you live in Florida?
No, I live in South Carolina, so it was
Oh,
yeah, I drove for the show.
oh,
Um,
that sounds like a long drive. How far was it?
5.5 hours, stayed the night, had to leave again for emergency, and then I had to turn around and go do practice again. So I
Oh my
was like
God.
15 hours back and forth on the road. So But the top 4 matches were what I went for. I didn't really care. I mean, the big guys, I cared about them, but top 4 matches, I had to go root on my teammates and see the only female on the card. I'm sexist. When it comes to East versus West, I really only care about the females, Poland, unless it's somebody I personally know. I admit it.
We've kind of talked about this already, but I know it's on the list, so I don't want to skip over it in case you prepared a different question. But what's something you want to see happen with female arm wrestling, like change or develop or get better or improve? What do you think?
Well, I want a freaking Swedish team. So can we please settle our differences? I would like to see the females like traveling internationally in a group on a train in Europe someday. Like that would be
my heart just exploded. Amen to that.
I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if we'll see the day, but also though, people didn't think that we'd see the day with me and Sarah McKinney in a cabin in the woods. So
no, I think that's very fair, and I think that's a cool dream. And like, even if it doesn't happen with us, I think it could happen with like the next group. If we can start modeling what it needs to look like, it'll happen in the next group of pullers coming up. 100%.
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely finding people like in each top state, like, you know, you are Todd Hutchins or Chad Silvers or Travis, finding us women and those guys getting together and helping like get us our team, right? I think that
I did see that's something I was bringing up earlier was like when I brought up that the guys on the card like surrounded me, like that was, I would say that was a pivotal changing point for me in my career was like this past 2 weeks, like 2 weekends ago, like seeing that. I think the guys they're shifting. And they're seeing that like we can do this.
Yeah.
The females we can do this. We just gotta get our shit together.
Yeah. And I think they have to see some of us genuinely fighting for it. Like, again, putting some priorities in different situations, and whether somebody's it's not putting somebody's family to the side. You know, we women are allowed to have things to ourselves, you know, and put our dreams, you know, when you're in parenting for 40 years or however long however old the kid is, you know, we women deserve stuff of our own. Okay. We don't always want to be in the backseat. I think that's the next thing that happens with some of us women athletes. If we have kids, we're criticized for not bringing them with us, not taking them, but it gets that sexist point. And
being said, like I've also been criticized for not having kids.
Yeah, you know what? Kudos to you for not. You know what? That not being a parent doesn't make you any less of a woman. So
no, but like saying like, okay, well, you're blessed because like you have an advantage to travel and all that. It's like it's not that I understand it. Like I said earlier, I understand, but choices. And you don't understand why I made my choices. Like it's not that I was like I'm not gonna put my private business out there, but like or like my spouse's business, but like you don't understand people make choices a certain way.
Yeah. And again, that is projection. Let's be real, ladies. That is projection. Own it. I've been that woman where, oh, it's so nice. Like I have special need kids. Oh, it must be so nice to just get up, grab your kid and not have them freak out because something touched them so wrong. A noise set them off. Oh, that was me mourning the fact that I probably didn't get the kids that I thought, but I'm blessed that I have them because they've taught me things. But I went through my cynicism phase, my bitter phase, and I'm over it now and I've grown so I can say it. But that is projection, and we women have got to stop doing it to each other. Okay? Everybody has a different view of what happy is. You don't want to be a parent, that's great. Chase your happy. Didn't happen for you, chase your happy. Everybody's happiness is different. Quit crapping on it.
Well, I think,
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, And I think too, you never know why somebody's in this sport. And so when you take away their happy place by ruining it, by bringing your own, like you said, projections, or you bring in your own judgments about somebody on like why they're in the sport or what they're doing in the sport, like then it just doesn't make it their happy place anymore. And then you wonder why women don't want to arm wrestle because
and I had one of the female pullers drunk, slurring her words, yelling at me at the practice. What was I doing there? Why was I even at the practice?
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's crazy. You know, and how many women do we have that are recovering addicts and this has been their therapy? This is saving their life, you know? How many, we've got a lot in here that do that. How many women are battling mental health issues in arm wrestling or any type of fitness is helping save them, you know?
Yeah.
People don't talk about that as much, but fitness is the number one thing to help with a lot of mental health issues. So I don't know. Yep, we got to quit crapping on each other.
Tell us about your favorite match that you've had.
Oh shit.
Beating Grandma Rose at practice and having her still mad at you.
I can tell you my
Did
least
that
favorite
happen?
match. What?
She asked if that happened. And I said,
What?
yeah.
Grandma Rose?
Yeah.
We pull all the time. She's so sweet, but I don't know what Lucky said. I didn't catch what Lucky said about her.
She said that you beat Grandma Rose at practice and she's mad at you still.
She is, yeah, that's what happened. That was my first ever Sarah Bachman mega practice. She's not so mad at me. She's one of my greatest supporters. I'm just teasing that she's mad. But I would say my favorite match was Michelle Dugan, because I feel like she goes really like under the radar, and doesn't get the recognition she deserves, especially for like raising other females. James Reed as well.
I agree.
And I had to pull her at East West finals, and it's just like I'm looking at my mentor, arguably my training partner, because I don't think a lot of people know I don't get much training and I really don't. And when I travel up there, she takes care of me and she trains and she teaches me. And I think facing her in that final moment was just a beautiful moment for both of us. And shit, she needs a rematch. But that's one where I'd be like, yeah, like
I don't know if it was before the show or on the show. She talked about it. She was like, that's who I wanted to. You were one of the people she listed on people she really wants to regroup up with.
Yeah, she deserves it. I think she's at the top of my list to give a rematch to. I think that she comes before a lot of people, and it's for a good reason. She means a lot to me. She's respectful, and she goes highly unrecognized in the sport. So
yeah, that's crazy. I was not ready for it. It was awesome. Did y'all pull right or left or both?
We pulled both that day, but the right hand was the only one that was really showcased.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liz, there's a guy on here who says that at the East versus West finals, you actually broke your finger and put it back in place in front of him. That happened?
I was hurt. It did. Yeah, my finger was like definitely mangled and swollen. I don't know if it was broken. I don't know if I said it.
Yeah.
But it was. Shoot, I'm gonna blank on her name, but she's from South America. She comes with Gabby. She's fierce. Her hand control. She just like ripped my finger off.
Oh.
No, you're talking about, but I can't think of because she always comes with Gabby. She's been at every East versus West finals over here. I've seen her.
Yeah. She's crazy strong, yeah.
I think Lisa posted a picture of her with her, Gabby, and Sarah. That's the girl. We got to figure out her name. Gabby, let us know.
Yeah, but my finger was all mangled when I pulled Michelle too. But Michelle also, I think, was hurting a bit. So like we were about the same on the table.
Yeah.
That's good then.
Yeah.
But now we need it at like 100% both y'all.
Everyone's always hurt, always. That's the running joke. I mean,
there's always something sore.
Yeah, you never go in feeling good. Also, you get like the phantom pains. I don't know if anybody gets that psychologically, but like every bone in my body hurts.
I get the phantom hunger pains. That's not fun. I'm like, you're not hungry. Stop saying that.
I have a shirt that says everything hurts, but I haven't been wearing it very much lately.
Sarah Ray says the girl's name is Tatiana. I believe that's her name. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Welcome to. I think you were.
She's been on
here before, but hi, Sarah. So, obviously, East versus West, North America is 154, number one. Shoot fire. I knew this. There was one other thing that I was really just super impressed by. Oh, well, I'll just let you tell me, and then I'll be like, that was it. What are some of your accolades that you have from the last 3 years of being in arm wrestling that you would like to
share? Girl, that's it. I got nothing.
I want to see your collection of medals. Where are they?
What's your favorite thing that like the medal, like the favorite like medal?
Favorite award.
Yeah.
Shit. My favorite award is probably, this is so funny. You guys are gonna laugh at me, but it's honestly probably Stu's dragons from Winter Blast, and they never survive. They're all like beheaded in my gym. But I was training with Michelle Dugan the first year. And she has them on her mantle, and I was like, I want one of those. Like, how do I get one of those? And she was like, Winter Blast. And so yeah, those are my favorite. I also like a little girl signed my last one, but it's like all beheaded. So I didn't want to throw it away because she signed it, but
right.
I have like a
you could like
dragon
duct tape his head on. Duct tape his head back on.
super glue.
Yeah.
Those creature trophies look great, from like the bulldogs to the gorillas and the dragons. Those are
I do want a gorilla, but also I think it's, oh my God, I get them mixed up. Don't hate me. Florida, don't hate me. I think it's not Chance's promotion. It's the other Florida league. They have like the alligators
The
now.
alligator? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I can't think of their names. Beth Westbury's.
Yeah, Beth and
Casey. That's right. We should have known that. Beth and Casey and them. They're great.
I'm coming for one of those.
Do they still? I don't think they still have them, because I know the Mayhem and Middlebrook. They didn't. They said they weren't doing those this year.
Okay. Well, I'll tell them.
You should just tell them to do it and tell them that you're showing up to win one, and they'll bring it back for you. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It'll probably happen again, maybe once before I die. Hopefully not. We'll see. But I'm hoping to get. I'm coming for. Steve Pettis knows I'm coming for one of those gorillas, and I told him to just have an extra one that's like a purple one. That way, if I don't win a colored one, I could just take the purple one home and be like my participation trophy. Because that's how bad I want a gorilla.
He's gonna have a little one about this big. We're lucky.
It don't gotta be a big one. It could be like
It does seem like Winter Blast had a great turnout for women, so that was really cool to see. If East versus West doesn't happen around that time, when did they say it was again? When is Winter Blast again? 98, like March next year?
March 22nd.
March.
Yeah.
March 21st, Arm Gods is running the super matches so that super match debacle doesn't happen part 2. And so Arm Gods is taking over that. We ain't got to comment on that though. And so then Winter Blast will run on the 22nd at the casino, Valley something. So make sure, get a hotel at the casino unless you broke like Lucky, and then get the Super 8 up the road that's like literally $69.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I'll
I'm
be
glad
honest,
I have
guys,
a van.
I don't plan shit out. I'm gonna be real honest.
So she's like, if there's no East versus West in March, I may be at night at Winter Blast again. That's what
If I'm
gonna
also
do.
like where my weight is, like if Sarah Bachman's pulling me at 172, like
In December
depends.
or next year?
No, I'm just joking. I'm just saying, like a lot of things depend on like where I'm at in my training. Yeah.
Fair enough. Sorry, I got excited. I was like, ooh. Yeah, folks.
How many days a week do you train? Like,
You don't want me to answer that.
no, serious, be honest.
I love this about Liz because it gives me such justification for going at least like 3 days until a competition. She trains up until like the day before.
Well, I remember she said she doesn't like doing some of that, but I'm talking about just in general training with your push-pull days, cardio.
That was something I heard on a podcast one time, and I was like, oh, if Liz does it, Lucky can
too.
Yeah, sorry, I missed what you said, Amanda. What did you say?
What did I say? When I'm not just training up to arm wrestling matches, I'm just talking about everyday training. Like when you have your push-pull days, your cardios, what is that like? How many days?
Yeah, they've changed. So like I've changed them. I think I did like I would say I switched in like October of last year after my Carolina debacle. Because shit. But um right now it's like focused on shoulder back day. And then I don't train. Listen, this is gonna make other trainers like cringe out their ass. I'm so sorry. But but buys, tries, and chest another day. I have like an arm wrestling specific day, and then I have leg day. And when I'm starting to get a little toasty, I put that leg day in there to kind of buffer. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like it's very hard on my shoulders. I'm not gonna pretend like it's not. Arm wrestling is just another beast, and then I have all that heavy lifting. Um, and hopefully my goal has been to like hit the table 2 to 3 times a week. Um, if allowed be. It's hard. I think you just mentioned like 5 hour commute to practice, 6 hour commute to practice. That's kind of what it looks like for me. And that's if someone's having a practice and if I'm allowed at that practice and because I'm a female and if it's just
You get that? Do you actually get that drama where people don't want you at a practice because you're a female?
yeah, there's a club that I'm not allowed at.
Yeah, I mean, Lucky's got that. I I want to be like, oh, come on, men have evolved, but that sucks. So, but it's not like, hey, you know what, Liz? It's not like you need them.
Their balls haven't dropped yet. That's all it is. Don't worry about them.
Well,
Their balls haven't dropped yet.
There's also like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I understand that from face value on social media. Like, I'm very like, I put myself out there sexually, I would say, but there are moments where like I draw a boundary and I'm like, all right, well, I'm no longer going to train here, or I no longer feel comfortable here, or I'd rather have a private training with this person that I know is going to be focused on specifically training and not dicking around. I think that happens. I'm going to be honest, like we're going to be outspoken about it. Like it happens to women. It does. It is what it is. You just got to figure it out. It's the same thing that Amanda was saying is like sacrifices are made, adjustments are made, and you go and you find your people.
Yeah, you find your people. You find the people that want you to succeed. They know that it's in there and they want to push you to your breaking point to get it. Yeah, I posted it like you have to go work with the people that you're gonna grow with.
When I was doing bodybuilding, I was so intense about it that I didn't want to miss a workout. And not only did I not want to miss a workout, I was not going to work out by myself. I was only going to work out with a trainer. And if my trainer canceled, I'm freaking out on the gym people. And I'm like, you better get me a trainer. I don't care if they hate my guts. I'm only here for the result. So I still have that mentality. If people don't like me, I'm still going.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Liz.
It's not that they don't like me. I think it's just like a boundary that their wives have made. And I need to respect that.
I wasn't thinking that they didn't like you. I was just relating to that with the energy about that. Yeah. I could block out anyone who doesn't like me for the result. That was my point of it. Not that.
Yeah, and I also, I was talking to one of our legends, and he was talking about how like, you know, a lot of us panic and think that like we need to be on the table, and like arguably we do. Americans definitely do, but I was so hyper fixated that like I didn't have someone to actively train with 24/7 on the table. And honestly, like a lot of my gains have been just me and doing band work and hits and like really setting up. And like Thea and Malin taught me like every time you walk up to the table, you're setting up like you're in a super match. And I think that's really important for new pullers to hear too, is like don't just give up because you can't find a practice. You know, like it'll be okay. You'll find it.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to virtually connect with somebody online. I mean, that's how you're gonna do it. There's so many people out there. Look, we've had them on the show. Please go back and watch former guests. We've got men out there that do want that's best for us. And if you can see, we women want the best for us as well. So, but I know I make a point when I'm at practice because you know, a lot of times people think you see the one woman, oh, she's single and she wants to hang out with guys. Guess what? That's not true. But so I do make the point if there's a woman there, and if it's their wife, I acknowledge her. Hey, how are you? What do you do? Do you not pull? Okay, that's great. But you're a person to me and I'm not gonna like snub you. But then I'm at the table for the rest of the day. So I've let you know I ain't here for you, man. I'm here for me.
Yeah. I'm one of two girls in my club, and
ain't nobody want them. No offense, guys.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you're pulling with men who are too busy looking at you, you're with the wrong people, anyways. I don't get that.
That's what I said earlier, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's like you gotta set a boundary and you find out who really wants to work.
Yeah, there's no flirting at practice. It's shut up. We'll have fun. We'll talk jokes. We'll talk trash, whatever. But it's work. You come to work. We respect you as an athlete. If somebody's not respecting you as an athlete, please go find you a better place. Definitely.
Yep. Hey guys, are you there? I'm gonna have to go. 4:00 comes really early for me. Liz, I'm glad you came on. It was awesome talking to you. Good luck in your next match. Kick some ass.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you later, ladies.
Bye, Casto. Yeah, it feels like a Saturday. I forgot there's school tomorrow.
Oh yeah, your girl gotta wake up and teach genre tomorrow.
That's all right. 4 a.m. rise and grind.
Lucky, you'll have to log me off.
Got you, girl. 1 second. I gotta be nice to you since you won your super match. Unfortunately, it was like a private bet.
We need to buy her some better internet stuff and.
Oh wait, crap. No, I don't want to report them. I just wanted to kick her out.
There's another thing on the screen that says Samsung. What's that?
It might be. Lucky, is that your phone watching the YouTube?
Yeah.
That's what I do. I have mine so I can look at comments to the side.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Yep. So she said good luck in your next match. Obviously, if you can't release anything yet, or I know we talked, you hinted a little bit towards something. Is there anything in your future that we can look forward to that you're able to talk about at all? If not, that's totally fine. You just be like,
Yeah,
hey,
I haven't talked to the promoter about that one coming up in December, so I don't really want to put it out there
That's fair.
in case it was like pushed to the side.
Gotcha. No
Yeah.
worries. Not a problem. So, but that would be your next event then, the one in December?
Mhm. Probably. I did make a promise to my husband that I was done until next year, but we'll see.
December's close enough. He'll survive. And I know I'm not gonna put you on the spot with like call outs or anything, but I know you talked about Michelle Dugan. Is there anybody that you're interested in grouping up with, like as far as like practicing with, somebody you really like to get on the table again? I know you've mentioned a few legends already that you've gotten to practice with and pull with. Is there anybody else that you'd like to circle back to and be like, I really need to work with such and such again?
I did really enjoy working with Bishop. I commend him on his professionalism, his respect, taking it seriously, encouraging his entire group to take it seriously. So, and just, yeah, I just all around a great guy, and really technical on the table. So I would love to work with him again. Um, Someday I'm gonna get out to Sarah Bachman. I don't know when that day is gonna happen. I do want to make my way up to Canada. Um, so I got a lot of things in the works. I just need some downtime to accomplish it.
I was talking to Heidi about all us girls over here going up there and having like a nice all-female practice because Canada's got some beasts, and two, I just want to go to Canada.
And Liz and Jocelyn can pull, and there can truly be number one in North America.
Oh, fuck that. That's Jocelyn all day. Don't you
Okay, I won't ruffle those feathers then.
like I do need some like rest, okay? Like
It can be next year. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. So, what would be your advice for someone looking to begin in the sport or somebody just starting out? What would you say to them?
shit. I feel like I already kind of gave that advice multiple times, but
To be fair, you did. You can be like, just watch the episode. Do an Adam. Watch the tape.
I think with everything that's been going on in the past 8 months with the females, I think it's really important that my advice would be like, and I'm guilty of this. I brought that up earlier, mentioning Castro and my beef with Sarah and all that. I think it's really important for new pullers to understand that it's not personal. A lot of promoters are fueling the fire and with good intention because it's their job. Um, a lot of pullers that are in the sport are very defensive of females' actions, or critical of new pullers. And it's because we're fighting so hard on our end for respect. And it's just kind of take it with a grain of salt and sit back and avoid third party chiming in. I know it's exciting as a new puller to be like, oh, he thought I'm doing great, and like, and you are, and that's great. But also like hit the brakes and really like look inward. I had to do it a couple of times. I got myself in some hot waters. I'm not even gonna lie, like I wasn't even expecting to pull it knuckles up with who I pulled with. Um, I just got told it was a number one card. I didn't even know that until like a week before. So like, just be mindful, and really, I think that was my goal this year too, was to be like, take smart matches. Don't get pressured. Don't get pressured by everyone around you. Um, and I think, Lucky, you and I have talked about it too, is like, hash it out, talk about it, be open, because you don't really know what's going on when other people get involved. I think that's fair, right, Lucky? You there?
Outsider looking in, I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Can you not hear me? Sorry. My service might have been wonky. Sorry. I said, yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah. So.
Very cool. Well, Casa said it. I'll say it again. I really, really appreciate you coming on the show. We're happy to have you. We're thrilled to have you, honestly. We had talked before when you and Sarah were driving back from Winter Blast, and I was like, come on the show, tell us all about Winter Blast. And y'all were like, we done. So, I'm glad we were able to circle back. And
that was me. To be fair, I'm gonna take responsibility for that. That was me. I already told you guys, I'm shy, and when I'm tired, I'm grumpy, and I did not want to say anything on your show for being held against me. Oh, that was me.
Right. So I'm just saying, this has been a long time coming. I'm glad we were able to circle back to it and make it happen. So
no, I think this has been a great show.
Yeah, definitely. When I looked at the clock and it was 10:50, I was like, holy crap. I didn't even realize an hour and 50 minutes had passed. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your transparency. We're excited for you. We're excited for your future. I can't wait to see you on East versus West again. Hope you get out to Germany. Hope you get December. Just hope you get all the things, girl. It's been great.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. I know this is supposed to be a quick one, so I appreciate you guys' time too.
Oh, you're very much welcome. It was great. I think people got to see more of you. I mean, usually you're on for just a little bit, so I really hope people sat and listened. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Anyway,
ladies,
I'm signing off. I'm tired.
I hear you. All right, you have a wonderful evening, and tune in Saturday for a very big show. We're looking forward to it, and we're going to see some big names on the screen, just like tonight. So, hope to see y'all Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.